Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗏. Today guys, we're going to be taking a look at 𝗕𝗪𝗏, specifically taking a look at the price action, see what's been going on, what kind of pullback point might be on the horizon here after completing 5 waves up. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop and take a look at what's going on here with 𝗕𝗪𝗏. Okay, right, we're going to start things off with our hourly chart. We can obviously see that there are five, if I can get my words out, 5 impulsive moves to the upside. We obviously see that the 5th wave here has found major resistance up there on the 1.618. That's the minimum move of our 5th wave there, kind of coming in and getting completed. Wave 1 is actually quite shallow. Wave 2, really small pullback. Wave 3, nice and extended. Wave 4, quite severe, but obviously doesn't invalidate anything. It actually reconfirms this area of resistance, now support. So this is going to be an interesting area that we'll be watching out for. And then, of course, we have that 1.618 move for our 5th wave. So that's all kind of done and dusted and completed. We can see the stochastic RSI getting corrected. We can see the rejection from that 1.618. So we can start to see that pullback. We've had a little bit of a push to the upside, a bit of resistance here, and trying to prevent, that kind of inevitable pullback, in my opinion. So we should be aware that there is a high probability that we are looking for an ABC correction to the downside after these 5 waves up. That is, of course, kind of a bit of a given. You'd expect this to happen. It isn't unusual or anything like that. A little bit of volatility, obviously, as there's a lot of FOMO in the space right now. Lots of people trying to dive into projects, looking at every single kind of pullback, thinking that maybe we're going to be taking it into the next kind of ride to the upside. So I'm actually looking for a little bit more of a deeper, more meaningful ABC correction at this point after 5 impulsive moves up. This would be pretty standard practice that we look for some kind of decent kind of correction that then allows us to correct things and then move us further forward, right? So let's take a look at that. After completing those 5 moves, we can see the stochastic RSI is lowering down a little bit. We have that resistance kind of fighting, but here is a bit of a move to the upside. This actually wicks up quite high, and this actually could be a really short, quick-lived, impulsive move, or not impulsive, but corrective move down. And one of the things that we'll look for here on our hourly chart is something that I think is going to build up into a bigger picture, because here will be potentially, wave A. I think this is probably far too soon to really say, and you can say that that's a wave C, or we have a wave A here, wave B potentially just fighting that resistance, and a wave C still to come down a little bit lower towards that kind of 20-cent range. Or alternatively, as we actually take a look at these kind of higher time frames, we can see that we are still quite heavily overbought on the 4-hourly. The 8-hourly is all the way up there as well. The daily is up here. It needs good corrections. Now the weekly is in a really good position, but everything else is requiring some form of decent correction. So we want to be watching all those stochastic RSIs for momentum loss, etc. here. So one of the things that we want to be quite concerned with is this an entire A wave in itself with a B wave push and then potentially pulling back down sub 20 cent. Obviously, we've got the importance of 19.7. Okay, so we know that this is an area that we want to be kind of watching out for as well. But ultimately, yeah, we are looking for correction, and I'm going to run through a couple of scenarios here for 𝗕𝗪𝗏. So we can take a fib all the way from our low area of our 5 impulsive waves, right? This entire move up. If we actually take this and run it up to that high point, we can have these fib levels get drawn out for us, right? This is a couple of key areas that we want to kind of be focusing in on. And we're going to use this in conjunction with our A wave, B, and a C wave, but also want to be using this in line with support and resistance lines, okay? So obviously we have the 19.7 cent. This is the area of an A wave just up here. This is the area that we breached when we actually had this impulsive move, back tested a little bit lower. Actually, this actual low test came in here. We actually get that candle wick low for you was 19.3, so a little bit lower than 19.7, but then there was a wicks and we actually stabilized the bodies of the candles above, right? So we know that 19.7 is a key area for us, but we also pulled back down into this lower range here, and that being 19.3. So I think there's something in this range. It's actually a little bit higher than our 618 retracement. That would be 19.7. So as we start to think about a potential A wave forming down with a B wave up and then a C wave back down, we want to be looking at this kind of 19-cent range, this 20-cent to 19-cent. I feel this is the most probable area that we're going to find some kind of comfortable pullback. This will be in line with obviously what Bitcoin is doing as well. So as Bitcoin pulls back, I'm expecting anywhere between $37,000 and $39,000 for BTC. More specifically, the 786 and the 618, they're kind of firmly about the 37.5 to 38.5K range. So you're right in that sweet spot, right? So for 𝗲𝗪1, I think that sweet spot is right here between 20.1 and 19, and I'm going to set that down a little bit lower. I'm going to say 19.3, that low wick. I think there's a broad range just here, but until we actually form this A wave, we're not going to definitively know for sure where that kind of level is likely to fall. Obviously, we'll wait for a definitive bounce up as well, and again, that's going to probably be up in this kind of resistance range around here. So, you know, wave 3, for example, about 20 cent. It might be that actually we just pull back into that range here. Again, you know, we actually take a look at what we were at previously, and that would be 20.1 or 21.03. So there's lots of interesting kind of areas here. Obviously, this is the unexpected move from this triangle, this triangular wedge. We were looking to pull back down, and if you know, we actually fell a little bit short of here. So it's an interesting move. It was actually supposed to pull back, and actually we shot on up, marking a bit of a change in trend, quite a definitive change in trend as well. So that's positive on the macro side, but for now we should be, you know, fully aware that there's corrective action required. We are looking down at this low range. I'll quickly draw this up with a bit of a rectangle, because I do think there is something right in here. This seems quite broad, but I think you know, this will be very clear once we actually come down. I would expect to bounce from around this area as well of 20 cent or so, just because this was an area that was forming a support. We've consolidated on it for a bit as well. A bounce from there, pull back down. That's the kind of expectation I have here for 𝗲𝗪1, and this I think will be a fantastic opportunity for accumulation or re-entering the market, buying, accumulating, dollar cost averaging, however you kind of want to articulate it. You know, 5 waves here, 3 waves down. Once you complete 3 waves down, we want to be looking for a nice 3 waves up, and we ideally want that C wave to turn it impulsive, so that we have 5 waves up. Okay, and again, that's going to be the thing that really defines this as the bottom area that we've experienced with this triangular wedge, before actually going up much higher with 𝗲𝗪1. I do see on the macro scale 47 cent being a new all-time high that we're kind of targeting, so this could be the start of that break. We are of course, you know, anticipating some lower lows first, actually kind of mirroring what happened previously. But that's not happening. It's actually really positive. So again, it just means that the lows come in. We can obviously dollar cost average a better position before heading up into those kind of macro views of 47 cent or something in that kind of range. So guys, I am going to leave this one nice and short and sweet. It gives you a bit of an idea as what I'm expecting to happen with 𝗲𝗪1. If you have found it useful, informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.